All right, we're gonna do a quick video here. And finally ran into a indoor blower that has the shaft pretty bad rusted. It came out of a Carrier air handler, and as you can see, it's rusted pretty bad. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is take the set screw out. Set bolt, set screw, whatever you want to call it. All right, and anytime they're really bad, I just take that all the way out, and I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is actually try to tap the blade further down onto the motor. And so and that little bit right there is enough that will actually give you a clean spot so you can sand it off. And I don't know if you can see that right at the bottom there. You're seeing clean metal that was under the hub. Okay, so then the second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this regular piece of emery cloth, sandpaper, whatever you want to call it. Comes in a roll. This is a Diversitech piece here. And it works pretty good. Keep in mind, it wears out quick. So what we just did right there, pretty much all you're gonna get out of that piece of sandpaper. And I'll take the end where it's not worn out, and I'll sand that flat spot, even though you don't really have to sand it much, because it's not keeping it in there. But the edges and corners, that's pretty important. Okay, so once I do that, everybody knows that watches my videos, this is the one I use, the Jack of all sprays. That's the one I think is the best, especially on the indoor blowers, because it doesn't have a really foul smell to it. I'm going to take the stem and put on it for this, because after I put some all the way around the shaft, I'm going to stick this stem up inside the set bolt screw hole, the threads, and spray it inside. So that really should do pretty good right there. Now this is a penetrating oil, so it will work best if you give it, you know, a minute or so to try to penetrate. And if you do a really good job, you know, you got to knock it down first, but if you do a really good job on sanding and cleaning that shaft, and then get this penetrating oil on there and let it start soaking in, and you should come out okay. I got to flip that over. We're actually working in the shop here on top of a furnace, so that's a new furnace. So I'm going to take the bolts out next. Okay, we've got all the bolts out. Now you can see that the motor's loose. So we're going to flip it back over. Now we're going to work from this side again. Okay, so I'm just going to get a close look at it and see what I think. All right, another thing you can do, just to be sure it's broken loose, is you can take your adjustable and go to the flat spot on the shaft and tighten it down on the flat spot and turn it a little bit. Okay, so what I do is I turn it a little bit there, and then spray up in that bolt hole again. Turn it about another quarter turn. Very important to spray up in the bolt hole, because that's getting a lot more of that shaft that's actually inside the hub. And I can feel it getting looser now. So we've done about all we can do to loosen it up here. Now, for whatever reason, always turn the bolt hole back to the flat spot, just where it was originally. I just got it in my mind that that's where it's going to come out the easiest at. And so we're going to hope for the best here. Now, you got to be careful what you hit that with. Okay, this hammer I've got right here has got like a resin epoxy end here that's not metal. This is all metal, but this right here, I'm not sure, but it's soft, whatever it is. And so I can use that to drive down, you know, to hit the shaft without mushrooming out the top of the shaft. So you got to be careful not to do that. And we're going to find out pretty fast whether this one's going to be easy or whether it's going to be tough. And if it's going to be tough, then we're going to have to prop this up. But if it's going to come out easy, you may be able to just pick it up and hold it with one hand, tap it right out of there. Okay, so you saw how bad that was. It was pretty rusted, it was pretty bad, and it was definitely frozen on there, and you can see, you know, the bottom, what that was like where we didn't clean it. So if you work smart instead of hard, you don't fight these things to get them apart. So everybody's seen me change about 1,000 motors. I don't think there's any fun or point in that. This was just going to be a short video for unsticking the seized blower wheel shaft, and we may do a fan motor as well.